If you run a CPA firm, then you definitely know the feeling. That annual crush of compliance work, the super long nights, the constant pressure. Well, today we're going to explore a strategy that really aims to change that whole cycle, strategic outsourcing. And we'll see how it can do a lot more than just lighten the load. It can actually be the key to unlocking real growth for your firm. So let's just start with a question that gets right to the heart of it all. Seriously, what if this year's tax season could be different? What if you could actually conquer the workload? Without that burnout that just feels, well, inevitable. It's a powerful thought, and it's really the core of what we're digging into today. All right, so to figure out how to escape that burnout, we first have to get really specific about the problem. Let's just call it what it is, the CPA's annual crunch. I'm willing to bet this list looks pretty familiar. Yeah, it's that classic, brutal cycle, right? The long nights, the mountains of paperwork, and the pressure of a growing client list. So you try to hire locally, but that's expensive, it's slow, and what's the inevitable result? Staff burnout right when you can least afford it. It's just not a sustainable way to operate.
So if that's the problem, what on earth is the answer? It's not about finding some temporary fix or a band-aid. It's really about reframing the entire challenge with a modern, strategic solution.
And that solution is outsourcing. But let's be super clear here. We're not talking about just handing off tasks to the lowest bidder. No way. This is about forming a true strategic partnership. It's about delegating specific, really time-consuming compliance work to a specialized external team so your core team can focus on higher-value work.
Okay, so what does that actually look like in practice? Well, think of this partner as your on-demand support team, ready to jump in exactly when you need them the most.
Let's break down the most common services. For instance, you can bring in specialists just for those complex S-Corp returns to guarantee accuracy on every single 1120S. Then, during that tax season rush, you can instantly scale your capacity to manage the workload. And for firms that are looking to grow, white label services let you expand your offerings seamlessly, all under your own brand.
But here's the thing. Cost savings? That's just the tip of the iceberg. The real advantages of this strategy go way, way beyond the bottom line. Just look at the ripple effect here. First, you get true scalability, the power to add capacity for the busy season and then dial it right back down. Simple as that. You also get immediate access to professionals who live and breathe U.S. tax compliance. This frees up your team's time for what really matters, that high-value client advisory work. And the ultimate result? A firm with a much healthier work-life balance and way less burnout.
Now, of course, a big strategic shift like this is going to raise some questions. Any smart firm owner would have them. So let's just tackle the most common concerns head-on.
This is usually the first and, frankly, the most important question. You're in a business that's built on trust. You have to know that your client's confidential data is protected. And the answer is absolutely, 100%. A reputable partner makes security their top priority. They're using secure, cloud-based systems, they stick to strict U.S. compliance standards, and they operate under non-disclosure agreements. Data protection isn't just an afterthought for them, it's the very foundation of the partnership.
All right, so the second big concern is always about the client. You've worked so hard to build those relationships. Is bringing in an external team going to damage that?
It's actually the opposite. With what are called white label services, the outsourced team works as a totally silent partner. All the work is delivered under your firm's name, your firm's brand, making the whole experience seamless for your client. It's really the best of both worlds. You get instant expertise without all the overhead of hiring, which frees you up to focus purely on strengthening that client relationship.
And finally, there's the question of quality and capability. You know that little voice in your head asking, can I really trust an external team with something as complex and critical as an 1120S return?
Yes, you can, because handling complexity is their core business model. The best partners aren't generalists, they're teams of specialists who are laser-focused on specific, complex U.S. tax forms. And that deep focus is exactly what drives their accuracy and ensures compliance. Okay, let's bring this all together. When you solve all those operational pressures and you overcome the fears, something really powerful happens. You create the freedom to actually grow.
And this is the core mental shift that you have to make. Outsourcing isn't about giving up control over your firm's work, it's about gaining the freedom to truly lead your firm into the future.
Freedom to do what, exactly? Well, the freedom to step away from the weeds and focus on high-level strategy. The freedom to invest more time in deepening those client advisory relationships, the work that truly builds value. the freedom to pursue new clients and new business opportunities, and finally, the freedom to build a sustainable firm that allows for a real work-life balance.
So we'll end where we started, but with a totally new question. It's not just about surviving tax season anymore, it's about what comes next. With more time, more capacity, and way less stress, what could your firm truly achieve?